everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity 2. In the last session, of course, we had a tough fight with a Soul Collector, but of course, Fedoran and company came through relatively unscathed. Relatively. So we start today's session outside of the Spire of the Soul Seers, not intending to rush back here anytime soon.
Hey.
Now, the rest of the session is hopefully going to be stress-free and just going to involve us taking a wee peek at some merchants and having a look around the Sacred Stair in general. There's a Temple of Magran to check out, along with the Temple of Gorn and the Temple of Berath. At least two of the three we are pretty interested in visiting, ourselves for Berath and Adair and, well, more than likely Jyoti for the Temple of Gorn. So, yeah, just a little bit of exploration. As I said, stress-free. Hope you're taking note, game.
Yeah, of course.
No more melodramas, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello, Watcher. Fancy a look at this stock? Straight from the laboratory. Have a look.
Of course we shall. And no doubt, lots more things to add to our shopping list, which is growing far too large for one's liking. But anyway, we've got the amazing and truly incredible Instant Potion Belt. What a name. Just rolls off the tongue. Grants +2 to Alchemy and Alchemy's Cash. Summons a random potion into an empty quick slot at the beginning of combat, which will vanish when combat ends. That's quite an interesting power. The Ring of Overseeing, only 800. 10% extra area of effect. Now that's actually quite useful for someone like Fedoran, who's got a lot of AoE type spells. Maybe even for Jyoti, who uses AoE type spells as well. I suppose Druids too. Okura's Kettle. Rather hideous looking hat. Well, it's a helmet really, isn't it? 10% chance to cast Boiling Spray at an enemy when the wearer is critically hit in melee. Hearth and Home. Teleport to an ally's location. An Animancy Cat for 10,000. The hell is this? While Animancy Cat is following you around, you gain bonuses to Arcana and Metaphysics. And all creatures your party summons gain bonus might and penetration. Wow. It's very expensive, but it's got some pretty nice buffs. Animancy Cat. We may have to keep that in mind if we're feeling particularly flush. Right, we are distinctly short in healing scrolls because we used them all in that fight. So if we see any healing scrolls, we may purchase some. We did use a few potions as well, but not of this variety. We used the minor variety, so we'll get a few more minor potions if we can as well. So. Okay, well, bearing in mind, I mean, this belt seems quite fun, so we may get that. Overseeing Ring certainly as well, and Animancy Cat. Yeah, we'll add it to the list. We'll add it to the list.
Yeah.
I thank you, sir.
No problem.
We shall be back at some point in the future.
Eh?
Consider, friend, the blessings of the priests are priceless, but so too is good sense. I have supplies here, so that daring travelers may live to honor the gods.
I thank you. Potions of minor healing, ×2. Take them both. The Magnificent Escape Cape. Sounds like something Fedoran would greatly appreciate being in possession of. The Magnificent Escape. When blooded or near death, the Magnificent Escape Cape may be used to dash to safety, breaking engagement, and expertly avoiding the next attack. That's definitely a Fedoran cape, isn't it? if his spells fail him and he, in an emergency, needs to escape the jaws of death, poof! Off he pops due to this magnificent escape cape. God. One of the many accoutrements, I love that word, accoutrements, of famed Valia magician Malia ni Spetcoliera. This cape went missing. Okay, so it belonged to a famed Valia magician. So from one famed Valia magician to another, I think this is going to be a high priority for our Mr. Fedoran. A magnificent escape kit. We're not going to get it just yet, but it's certainly going to be purchased sooner rather than later. And I just love the name of it. I could just see him bragging about it, parading it around the tavern for all to see. Or maybe he'd keep it secret. Would he wish to be known as somebody that's wearing a cape that allows one to escape magnificently? Doesn't seem very heroic, does it? Anyway, nothing else here of interest. We should trade for those. Thank you.
Got it.
Payment for heads. It could be no simpler, I say.
Ah, another bounty hunter. An armoured Arowana turns and looks you up and down. She holds this motionless pose across a long and contemplative silence. Finally, she draws out a single pyre, or pire, and balances a coin on her knuckles.
Tell me, are you someone who walks the path that coin lays out before you?
She flips the coin from knuckle to knuckle. Well, can't be said that I don't enjoy getting paid for a day's work.
Transmuting actions into payment is the alchemy that orders our world. All things turn on the axis of a coin bond.
She touches her brow with a free hand. As she says the word, her coin continues its winding journey, uninterrupted.
I pay bounties so that death can bring order to life. Would you help me continue the cycle?
Yes, I've got a couple of bounties already. I suppose another added to the list shouldn't harm. What do you have available?
If you would forge a coin bond, I know of people on these islands who must die. Their fate is already decided. The coin wishes only to collect. Dugra the Ascetic is wanted for crimes against his monastic order. His people have made a coin bond for his death.
Yeah, she seems to be obsessed with coins.
The Orlan wanders the wilderness on the island of Crookspur, northwest of Nekataka.
Right. Well, thank you. I shall keep an eye out for this Orlan, and when I have accomplished the deed, I shall return for those coins that you lovingly gaze at.
Sure.
Candles and bombs.
Candles and bombs. Apparently that goes to the Sacred Stair? The Sacred Stair.
Shining God, light your path, stranger. Can I interest you in any of our wares?
She sounds very edgy and nervous.
We gathered what we could. Much of our coin goes towards feeding those in need over at the temple.
Yeah, sure. Show me what you've got.
Thank you, sir.
Necklace of Fireballs. Grants the fireball spell only 8 charges. Boots of Speed. Oh, I remember these. Extra stride, extra deflection against disengagement attacks. More potions of minor healing. I'll take a couple of those. Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
It's not marked on the map, but I'm just intrigued as to where this goes. Downstairs? Ah. Ah, so just, yeah. Right outside the Temple of Magran, which is handy, I suppose. Might as well go inside.
Yeah?
It's looking a bit dishevelled, isn't it, this place?
It's you.
Wharton! Wharton was the fella that we saw in the Temple of Aothas in the village, the very first village we came into. I can remember his name, but I can't remember the flipping name of the village now all of a sudden. Gilded Vale. He was a guy that trapped those priests, and we let him go free to make amends.
Surely as I do.
Let's see what he's been getting up to, eh? Over the past few years.
I can't believe it. Is that really you?
Solid meals and decent sleep have filled Wharton's lean frame out somewhat, but the man retains a fox-like aspect around the face. He greets you with an indecisive smile, unsure of whether to be nervous or pleased.
And Adair, you made it out of Gilded Vale for good then. I'm glad.
A lot more might have made it out if you hadn't left him for dead.
Yep, there you go. He's not a happy bunny.
I haven't forgotten. It's why I'm here, Adair.
He struggles to meet our eyes. Ah, Wharton, wasn't it? If my memory serves me well enough. What are you doing here?
Things got rough for us back in Gilded Vale, even after the Hollowborn curse ended. Didn't feel like I was doing much good there. Or anywhere. Not until I caught word about the Dawn Stars. Blazes, I tossed and turned about it. I figured there couldn't be a clearer sign. So now I'm doing what I can, handing out food mostly, or delivering supplies. Familiar work, I guess. Took some getting used to, working shoulder to shoulder with Raid Sarens, but it's not so hard as you'd think. Feels like I'm on the right path, toward a little piece of redemption, maybe?
Yes, indeed. Well, good luck with that path.
Doing my best, Lord.
Gives us a slight bow.
Why not?
So we've got the High Priestess Saywin, another abandoned animal, a few people kneeling, Nordegand, and an acolyte.
Hungry? Come on up. Don't be shy.
No, not right now. Thank you for the offer.
Sure.
Although that probably is feeling a little bit peckish after our recent ordeals. But we'll refrain for now. There's a downstairs area here. Can we get there? Don't believe so. Okay, so we'll start with Nordegand, I suppose.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood.
Adair waves a hand in the old woman's face, as though expecting cataracts she does not appear to have.
Short, got a bad temper. It goes by a lava Mazzy. Heard of her?
This is the first time he's mentioned her name. Alava Mazzy.
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Sounds like she's expecting you, Adair.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed.
Adair exhales a surprising amount of air. Wonder what Jyoti's doing at this precise moment.
Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
Adair's body goes perfectly still. It seems to waver in the breeze.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
Groaning, there she comes, Jyoti pulls her hair forward over her face, as if she can hide from the moment. Something wrong?
Nah, just curious.
Adair's grip on his pipe has caused the colour to drain from his knuckles.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
It can't be, can it? No.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Oh, Adair's getting a little bit nervous. Got a little munchkin running around Adair that he didn't know about.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged.
Yes, I have a feeling that Adair's not quite in so much as a rush to find her now all of a sudden. Look for Alafa in Hasongo. We may have to check in with Adair when we're next in the tavern, have a good old chat, and see what's troubling him, as if we need to know. But I think Fedoran, he can turn his hand to a bit of winding up occasionally. He wound up Alof when we stumbled across him, and I think he might enjoy just winding Adair up a little touch this evening in the tavern. What time are we on? Yeah, 2000 hours. We're not too far away from heading back and getting some more rest. Right, the High Priestess and an abandoned cat.
Sure.
Frau Nils. Also, we can come down here. Doesn't really go anywhere. So, an aged tree. As you approach, a wood elf straightens over an altar to Gorn. Her robes marked her as a high priestess. She arches and cracks her back loudly, a satisfied grin spreading across her face soon after.
Jody, I do hope you're not getting into trouble now. Who, me? No, I wouldn't dream of it.
She smiles at the sight of a stranger. Ah, you must be the high priestess?
Do swine stink like shit?
She hits you with a toothy smile, eyes glittering with amusement.
I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you?
Yes. Just that this place gets a little damp. Well, maybe just a touch. Bit of an understatement, that, isn't it? Yeah, must be getting a lot of people in here these days.
Oh, yes. People are afraid, angry. Change can be frightening. But what did any of us come here for, if not a new beginning?
Well, So you are devotees of Gorn, right? What about Aether's other manifestations?
Gorn's the only one that matters.
Excuse me. Saywin shuts her eyes, exhales sharply, and then opens them again to regard you with a patient smile.
The Shining God's got many faces, but they're all his to wear. Divine King Widewind, he saw the dawn stars, telling him of things to come. But it's gone with Sickle and Lantern that's come to the Deadfire. Our God's returned, and he's gonna bring balance to the world. He's gonna right all the wrongs we have suffered. Dawn will bring a new beginning for all of us when that hour comes.
Yes, well, if Remigander's to be believed, some kind of a flippin' reckoning's coming, so I won't sound so excited, my dear.
Yeah?
Fedoran thinking in his head. Of course, not keeping it to himself.
Got it.
Doesn't want to cause a stir, you know. And it's good to see that Nadog has levelled up to... I don't know why I clicked on that because I'm not ready to level him up. But anyway, good to see that Nadog has levelled up to the same level as everybody else. Okay, so I've got my character sheet open, and for the Barbarian class, we are going to go with Bloodlust. So I'll have to find it first. I think it's probably this one here. Blood Frenzy? No? Bloodlust? Bloodlust? What would Bloodlust be under? Maybe one of these. What's that? Combat Focus... Oh, there it is. So with Bloodlust, what happens here is every time we get a kill, he gets extra action speed. So he'll get extra action speed from his Frenzy, I think it is. He'll get extra action speed from this. He also gets an extra attack, I think it's an extra attack, with his combat stance. So he's getting ways and means to hit things quicker, get free attacks, hit things harder, so that he just becomes literally a wrecking machine. Swinging his axes like a maniac, doing as much damage as he can in a fit of rage, and hope that that will be enough to take down the enemy. And considering he helped us significantly in that fight against the Soul Collector, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him get stronger and stronger. Right, and his fighter, let's have a look. Next, his fighter, we're going for Discipline Strikes. So, haven't been using these as much as I should. These give the Aware Inspiration, or rather the Intuitive, which is great for turning grazes into hits and from hits to crit. Because getting crits is damn good for him. Critting is the way to go, so we need to be triggering this as soon as we can. This makes me think that I should probably start even if it's just a very basic AI interface, or I should be using the AI things. Combat AI, that's what I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is combat AI, isn't it? AI behavior, there you go. So I should be using should be using some basic AI, because I've noticed that if I give somebody an attack order with a spell, for instance, and they finish that spell, they don't automatically start attacking with their regular weapon unless I tell them. So sometimes I've got people stood around doing nothing. So I think I need to give them some kind of an AI script just to make sure that they always attack after they've finished casting, so they're always attacking the nearest enemy. And then also, at least for the fighters to start with, just give them an auto, an auto AI behavior to trigger Discipline Strikes when it's not, when they've not got it on. So they'll trigger it automatically at the start of combat, and then when it finishes, they'll automatically trigger it again without me having to worry about it. So I'm going to probably have a dabble with some AI behavior, just very simple, very basic, just to alleviate some of the things that I have to do with all the characters. So we'll start with these two more than likely. In the next couple of sessions or so. I've got to do some reading up on it. Anyway, that I think is everything in the Temple of Gorn. We've got the location of Adair's lost love, so let us move on to the next temple, which is the Temple of Magran. just down the road.
You know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Barrett's bonds?
Oh, it's a pity he started talking when we're out of shot now, isn't it? We can't move. Yes, you have mentioned it a couple of times. You've changed your mind now, have you?
Well, I meant that. I did.
Oh, well, it's good to hear. Adair's breath lingers in his chest and his mouth hangs ajar, throwing his statement into immediate doubt. Do I sense a butt coming here, Adair?
But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you.
Oh, I see. Well, whilst stood outside the Temple of Magran in the, what was the pouring rain, now's as good a time as any to start talking, isn't it?
This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. After the legacy ended, all I could think about was how to repair what the gods had done. To me, that meant seeing about making Aethasians feel safe in their own homes. That's how I found the night market. After a while of that, I got to thinking about the days just after the war, when we all stopped feeling safe in the first place. Mostly I thought of the woman I couldn't help, who had to leave her home in the dead of night carrying a little baby that had no soul.
Oh, so it's not probably his baby then. Oh, damn it. We were hoping for some juicy gossip. Never mind.
Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right.
Well, it sounds like she ended up with a son. Fedoran pressing.
Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. I mentioned the baby she had when I knew her. That was a boy, too. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, he didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though.
You sure you want to know where this leads, Adair?
No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Alava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
Okay, so it still could be his. Still a chance for some good old juicy gossip. Ah, well, looks like we've got a bit of a trip on our hands then, isn't it? Don't worry, we'll get there, soon enough. Fedoran smirking, he can't help himself. Okay, let's have a look at this Temple of Magran and see what it's all about. I mean, I do like it for a start. The layout looks like very much like an amphitheatre. Really cool. It's an external temple. There's no internal, by the looks of it. Let's just have a wee moochie. See what we can. Mark van der Bidge. And another bloody cat. Rice wine. Ooh, Whale's Wind. Oh dear. Potent. Wonder if anybody in our ship might like a bit of a sample. You'll find a man of middle years inspecting a metal tool, unlike any you've seen. He has several similarly strange items on his belt, all quite clean and orderly. They look like the tools one might use to pull a tooth, or shoe or horse, but much more delicate. He wears pristine cream-coloured robes. The muzzle of an arquebus is visible just over his shoulder. His eyes brighten when he notices you. The man's robes shimmer with a faint trace of arcane energy. Glyphs stitched into the hems and sleeves seem to be the source of the effect.
Good day, traveler. I see you've taken an eye to my instruments. If you've any interest in the medical sciences, you need only ask. Well then, questions?
Oh, well, I might as well start with you. Tell me a bit about yourself.
I'm a researcher in the medical sciences. And before you ask, no, I don't mean animancy. Neither do I mean magic, nor, gods forbid, necromancy. Medicine. Study of the Kith body, its inner workings and such. I've misgivings about magic use. It's useful, I'll grant you that. But it's a crutch. Stunts our scientific development, you understand. Makes me a bit unpopular, as you can no doubt imagine. Which is why I've got this arquebus here.
Unpopular, says the magic user stood before him. What do you mean by unpopular?
A patient of mine died under questionable circumstances. One morning they were fine, and the next they were dead. Someone is trying to discredit my work, I just know it. But they won't succeed. I came here to the archipelago to evade my rival's attempts at sabotage. And there certainly is quite a lot of work in the Deadfire, I must tell you.
Oh, well, nice speaking with you.
Watch your step.
You could ask about his teachings. I think Fedoran doesn't want to know about his teachings. The man discredits magic, and magic has proven to be more than enough to heal us in times of need.
Yeah. Got it.
High Priest Hattie. The Magranite priest has the build of a boulder. His thickest frame stretches his fine robes at the seams. He regards you with a steady, calm gaze, nodding in greeting.
Be welcome. We gather to honor the goddess. For we must earn the strength to endure the darkest of life's battles.
Ah, so this is your temple?
Akira, rain and wind is a better teacher than any priest. A fighter accustomed to comfort earns only bruises. Each obstacle is a challenge we must answer. These are whetstones that sharpen us into fine blades.
I see. I think we're going to make comment about foreigners, really, but okay. It's a pretty nice temple you've got going on, but is there any more to it, though? No, just the Temple of Magran, road south, some braziers, all very nice.
No problem.
Nice place to have a concert.
Leave it to me.
Right. Okay. Ooh. What have we got here? Some razor gill. Okay.
So you defeated this ship-devouring beast all by yourself?
I'm telling you, you just have to aim for the eyes.
Aim for the eyes. We shall remember that. Those wise words that we've just happened to overhear. Aim for the eyes.
I'll see it done.
What is this? Uh-oh. Oh God, what have we done? This tree, its roots digging deep into rock and bricks, hangs over the ledge of the precipice. Below, an open tomb clings to the sheer walls of the cliff. We'll leave right now, so we can quick save it. Not that we're going to do anything if somebody does die, then they die. It's oh, there it is, look.
Leave it to me.
No, we're going down. Right, is everybody present? This is a task for a dare, of course.
Yeah.
The precipice drops hundreds of feet into lower districts of Nekataka. Strong winds assail the cliff, whistling as they crash against its rocks. A few yards below, the ledge of an open tomb rests on them. Yeah, okay, so we can only use a rope and grappling hook, which hopefully will be safe. Okay, let's go. So we've lost the rope and grappling hook. And we start to descend towards the tomb's opening. You grab the rope, planting your feet on the edge of the precipice, and begin your descent. Gusts of wind sway you from side to side, forcing you to tightly grip the rope. It digs into your skin with every move. Despite the effort, your group proves their excellent conditioning. Everyone manages to reach the tomb's opening without exertion. You stand on the narrow ledge of the tomb's entrance, its passage leading into darkness. Your rope dangles from the tree above. We are going to look inside the passage, obviously. Light filters inside just enough to illuminate entombed skeletons resting in alcoves hollowed out from the rocky walls of the cavern. The stone slab floor appears to have been laid hundreds of years ago. Ahead, the passage disappears into darkness. This is bad. But we are going to follow the passage into the tomb. The winds rage outside, yet the air of the tomb doesn't stir. Stale and heavy. Steps carved on the rock descend deep into the mountain. You walk down the steps, every stride echoing through the cavernous passage. Skeletal remains poke out of niches in the wall, lining up the way until the steps land into a narrow corridor. You stand before a hallway. Its columns frame dozens of tombs hollowed into the rock. Cubby holes line the wall. Skeletal remains litter every alcove and spill onto the stone slabs that tile the floor. Inspect the hallway. You carefully scan the corridor and focus on every detail. Skeletal remains, probably dislodged from their cubbyholes over centuries, litter the edges of the walls. Judging by an emblem etched on the stone of the tombs, members of the same clan or group lie buried here. A faint sparkle catches your eye. Under a pile of bones collapsed inside an alcove, you discern something glittering. It seems to be within easy reach. We try to retrieve the glittering object. You reach inside the cubbyhole, digging into the pile of bones and stones. Your fingers touch something cold, its surface smooth as glass. You grab it, surprised at its weight, and pull it out to reveal a large ruby resting on the palm of your hand. Nice. We haven't stirred the undead. We cross the hallway and continue. You stand in a dark, narrow cavern. The path ahead twists in its descent. You continue down the twisting cavern. You continue onward, following the turns on the path with careful but sure stride. As you round a bend, a drift of cold air announces the end of the narrow passage. Its exit appears ahead, flanked by half-interred bodies. You step out into an enormous cavern, its walls and sharp cliffs riddled with tombs leading into places unknown. Where have we come? Uh-oh. Oh. Fedoran, have you got us into trouble again? The Hanging Sepulchres. There was an alternative way to get in here, actually, so we've probably just come through an alternative path to the same spot. But what is in here?
I feel it.
Something hostile. Just a skeleton, for now.
What do you need?
No prisoners.
Bush.
What do you need?
We'll speed it up now. So only skeletons. No need for melodrama.
Leave it to me.
What the flipping hell? Oh, risen champion. Oh, it's only a few skeletons. Risen soldier. Risen champion. Oh, God's help us. God's help us. A risen armsman. So we've got 3 enemies that are 3 levels above us. Can we leave?
Not sure I can.
No, we can't leave. So whilst inspecting the drop here and noticing the entrance to a potential tomb, Fedoran is overcome with a strange, morbid, ominous feeling and decides that it's probably not best to go down there, to be honest with you. And neither is it a good idea to go into the Hanging Sepulchres. Let the sleeping let the sleeping sleep for now. And instead we'll finish off in the Temple of Berath, where hopefully we won't be
You go in first.
beaten into a pulp. This looks pretty grim indeed. Dead bodies just lying on slabs.
Yeah?
Autopsies. There's not a great deal here to see, so we'll speak with the High Priest, who looks very creepy. An ailing Amawa priest regards your approach with curiosity. He coughs into a sleeve stained with a spatter of silvery flecks.
Come closer to the altar. Come inside. The temple welcomes all to worship, most especially you.
The priest peers knowingly at the centre of your chest, lips curving an ardent smile, hands trembling. He touches a length of chain around his neck.
I ask only for no talking. Not until we pay our respects to Bereth, to Rikuhu. Let us pray.
He bows his head.
Silent prayer? Where are the songs, I say? Did you learn this from Valians?
Yes, we're told to be quiet, and obviously he pipes up.
Again, I ask that you please fall silent for prayer.
Yes, Takeu, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, we'll bow our head and see what happens.
Deity of life and death, the endless devourer who encompasses all existence, hear this prayer, this voice chiming. I beseech you, Kohopa and Tangaloa, to ready this shell for sucking. Purify my soul in preparation for the coming of the next cycle. Digest all of my devotion. Swallow my sorrows, even the smallest swell, so I can be spit on the morrow. And Rikuhu, Berath, my god and goddess both, the eels that churn in ceaseless cycle, the new and the next and...
So Fedoran giving some of the other members of his party a kind of a sideways glance as if to say, when the hell is he gonna finish this? And everybody else is kind of just giving him the same kind of sideways glance and thinking exactly the same thing. But for now, we shall continue to keep our head bowed.
The before that came. Thanks be to Berath's guiding tract. May my messages ring true. Blessed be and jubilations.
He presses his hands over the centre of his chest, touching the item tucked beneath his shirt. Then, raising his head, he cracks a febrile smile.
All right. I will address your inquiries best as I can. So ask.
I don't think we want to ask too much. We could be here all night. Yes, the altar is rather impressive in a mouth of what looks to be some kind of large creature. What else is there to see and hear?
Under the temple, carved in the mountain's cavern, lies an extraordinary maze of catacombs. So I've read.
Oh.
They're the Hanging Sepulchres, burial place for ancient Wana chieftains. The bodies are protected by Bereth's best, roaming, always. Plus, the ways sealed by the deity itself.
Unless, of course, you know a secret way in. Yes, about those catacombs.
The dead with their souls, they roam still. The ones who were chosen by Bereth. Not everyone's born so blessed. Sometimes, instead, you've got to die for it.
I'd rather not personally, but that could be just me. Well, you mentioned in that prayer about soul for shocking. Strange phrase. That. What was all that about?
End of the turn. I'm nearing it. Been working hard, preparing for weeks. You know, to die. But first, I've got to leave guidance for my apprentice, the next in the cycle, chosen to lead.
Ah, so what's all these tablets are for? Oh, so you're dying?
Been wasting away for months. Can't say it's been easy, dying so soon. I thought about stopping a few times.
Stopping? What, you're doing this on purpose?
Maybe you can see. I'm no death godlike. Bereth bestowed not one in my generation with a chime. Not the next, neither. A flawed messenger like me can't open the crypts. So my best chance is to die.
Tell me about the writing on these stones.
Liturgies. Instructions for ritual preparations. When and how. Sermons. Some histories, too.
His fingers trail carefully across the stones as craggy as his skin.
All of this, it's our knowledge has gleaned through centuries of service. Now, I've got to leave it all behind for the next disciple.
His words catch in his throat and he curves forward in a spine-racking fit, hacking until he's flush-faced. Fumbling a goat-skinned flask to his lips, he drinks until Minnow's silver liquid dribbles over and slicks his chin.
Better.
He wheezes, wiping a palm over his chin.
The timing's getting tighter. And there is one thing before the end. Something only one touched by Bereth can do.
Yes, well, tell me what you need. I'm sure you've already gathered that I am one of Bereth's heralds. Maybe the only one. The priest presses the palm of his hand to the front of his chest. He stares, scrutinizing your face. He shakes his head, disappointed.
The coil resonates, but it's weak. You could unseal the way, but you'd die inside, I think. My chance would be lost then. Lost with your remains. Not just anyone can escape the Hanging Sepulchres. Alive.
Well, we've seen those things. They are pretty deadly. But who's to say that we can't come back a little bit later when we're more prepared? Don't know if you've heard of me, cooped up in here, but I am Fedoran. I can handle myself. He releases a grip on the pendant with a feeble nod.
I'd best not let this chance pass. There's a sacred text. The eulogy to Isaiah. It's been buried in the catacombs beneath the temple for centuries, next to his champions.
Oh dear.
I need it. Of course, the tombs, they only open to the dead, or those bearing Bereth's chime.
Well, we have, I'm sure, Beras chime within us. She puts something bloody in us, and it chimes every so often. I'm not concerned why he wants the eulogy, so... I suppose we might be concerned. You know what? Let's know what we're getting ourselves into and why.
It never was added to the tomes, but it holds the final clues for my death. It's my best chance. I prayed for decades, night to day and night again. Now, here you are, just in time. Means Bereth sent you to see to my success.
Well, I'll take a look. In due course, I need to prepare. You understand. The priest bobs his head. From beneath his shirt he untucks a stone-carved circlet in the image of an eel. The pendant vibrates on the length of a chain, thrumming harder the closer he holds it to you.
You're my best chance. Or only, maybe. Take the coil. We'll open the crypts. Bring me a sayer's eulogy, and I'll teach you all I know of Bereth's arcana.
Ooh. So, let's take a look at how high, let's see what level that... Quest should be probably 3 levels up, but no, it's more than 3 recommended. Look at that. And we were just down there. Huh. In an alternative life, or, you know, a dream. But yes, so we won't be rushing down there anytime soon. But if we come back here with the eulogy, we will get some kind of teaching from that old man, which could prove to be useful. So we'll get to that eventually. But for now, I think we are done here in the Sacred Stair.
I don't know what happened. I'm usually faster than that, I swear.
No one's that bad at Orland Slap. And I've played against some real sorry folk.
Maybe I'm just the sorriest of the lot.
Something tells me that ain't it.
So, time-wise, we've got a little teeny smidgen of time to play with. The party, that is, not me. But the Brass Citadel is the last district. And we're almost there, so we are hoping upon hoping that there is a tavern here for us to rest at, because it's a long way back to Queensbirth from here.
I noticed the Juana got a lot of statues of Andra.
Akara, Mother Ngati is much beloved.
That doesn't bother you?
Should it? What say?
Well, if everybody in my village had a naked statue of my mama, I'd be knocking on doors and making threats.
Got it.
The Officers' Lounge.
Halt.
Oh.
What is your business at the Brass Citadel?
Who the hell is asking? I met Hazanui Karu at the palace. I have business here. You don't mind?
You're the Watcher. The one who nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth.
Huh. His mouth quirks in a grin. Riot? Oh, are you talking about the apparitions I brought forth? We all need a bit of fun every now and then.
The Grand Secretary at Sura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs. Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right.
Ah. And what about the Hazanui?
Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters. But I am sure she will grant you an audience.
Ah, well, you'll excuse me if I don't go rushing there right now. I've had a very long day and I could really just use a bit of a rest. So,
with sails unfurled and sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done.
Check out this lounge and hope that it's a place that we can put our feet up. Well, we're not officers, but...
Oh, Miss Winter.
Ah.
Suddenly she's not.
There's something nowhere to sleep, but there is somewhere to drink and take the load off, which I'll have to do for now.
I
So,
don't think she likes me.
join me in the next
most of my
session.
career escorting foreign ships.
Many
Where we
have.
shall
She's got nothing against scramble routes.
explore
But don't stare.
the Brass Citadel, where we have a couple of tasks to do. So we'll see what trouble Fedoran can get himself in for a third session in a row. So until then,
Her hand.
see you soon.